Thanks for joining me today. If you haven't already subscribed, do it now. What are you waiting for? If you're like me, you probably have a trillion passwords. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but it sure feels that way. People have so many passwords that one of the top questions I'm asked is, where should I store my passwords? Stay tuned to find out the answer. Welcome to the Carrie Kursky Show, your partner in the fight against identity theft, fraud, and cyber threats. I'm your host, Carrie Kursky. Until recently, I wasn't fond of online password managers. You know, the ones where your passwords are stored in the cloud. In the past, I kept my gazillion passwords on a 13-year-old BlackBerry. Actually, it might be a little bit older than that, but at least 13 years old. Oh, how I miss my tactile BlackBerry keyboard. Anyways, my old BlackBerry doesn't have cellular service. The only thing it had was the ability to power up and a password manager located right on the device. My BlackBerry was the perfect place to store my passwords, or so I thought. Then one day, I noticed the device, it wobbled a bit on my desk, and I found out why. The battery was expanding. Remember those when the phones got fat because of the battery and the back cover started coming off? Yeah, that meant my days were numbered with my password storage. So I had to find another place to store them. I took another look at online password managers, and what I found changed my mind. They offer better security and enhanced encryption, at least those with encryption at rest and encryption in transit. They also have the ability to share specific passwords with a family member or others. So no more getting text messages from my husband or my kids asking me for the Netflix password. And you can have the ability to appoint someone access to your passwords in the event something should happen to you. I think this is a great feature because oftentimes we get calls from people after a loved one has passed away asking if we can get into their device or help them break into the accounts because they don't know the passwords as their loved one managed all the online accounts. So I think this is a phenomenal feature. And in addition to storing passwords, you can also store notes or other account information, such as your PIN numbers or security questions and answers, anything else that you might need to help you log in or access that account. Backup options. This is great in the event something should happen to the original records. In the past, I wasn't too fond of these password managers because what if something happened to the server where your passwords are being stored? You were kind of out of luck. But now with having the backup options, if something happens to the original record, they keep a backup copy of it. So I like that. I think that's a good feature. And also, some of the online password managers, they include a free VPN with your subscription. So if you're out and about and you're having to use public Wi-Fi, as much as I don't recommend it, sometimes it's the only option you have. So if you're going to be using public Wi-Fi, use a VPN. And if you have an online password manager that already includes it, there you go. So with the improvements to security and the new features, it finally made sense for me to switch to a password manager. I'll still keep my local version of my passwords just in case I'm unable to access them online. It's always good to have a backup plan. So now begins the painstaking task of transferring my gazillion passwords from my once beloved BlackBerry into my password manager account. I just pray that I complete the task before the BlackBerry battery explodes. Please, 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 please. So what about you? Have you made the switch to an online password manager? Tell me why you do or do not use an online password manager. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you join me next week for another great episode.